All right, Shalom. Before we start, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chagwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, we're back with another video, another lesson. And I don't have a title for this one yet, but I do have another video we're going to look into. All right. I did this video recently, but I deleted it because the sound wasn't working. All right, so I'm doing it again, but this time instead of watching it all the way through, we're gonna you know, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna stop it at some points and get some our biblical interpretation. All right, we're gonna line the things up that he says with the scriptures. All right, so with that, we're gonna hop into it.
The United States isn't going to collapse like the British Empire, the French, the Dutch, the Spanish, or the Portuguese Empire. Because the United States is not a small piece of land with a small population trying to control big pieces of land with large populations while constantly fighting their own neighbors. While Western Europe was conquering and colonizing the rest of the world, they were also fighting battles. France kept fighting England, they kept fighting Spain, Spain fought England, and they were absolutely fighting the Portuguese. And then the Dutch were just kicking the crap out of everybody who dared say.
Now, before we go further, he says that the United States is going to fall like the French, the Spanish or Portuguese, going to these different empires. But the United States will fall like the Roman Empire. Okay. And the Roman Empire, I read an article before I did, in my last video that I did on this, how the Roman Empire fell. And we're going to get it says that military was weakened. And you look at the United States military, it's the exact same way. All right, Jeremiah 51. And I'll start at Jeremiah 51. Man, I'm just going to it in 30. Jeremiah 51:30. It says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken." All right, and that's how Babylon is now. At one point the military was mighty. It was fierce. People, a lot of the nations didn't even bother to go to war with them. Because of how strong they were. And if you go to Daniel, that's how the Daniel 7:7. That's how the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, that's how their military was. It says Daniel 7:7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. All right, and that Roman Empire was not Roman. That fourth beast was the Roman Empire, and it was dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly because of their military, man. All right, and that's how America was, but America now is declining. All right, we see that, So let's continue.
Constantly fighting their own neighbors. While Western Europe was conquering and colonizing the rest of the world, they were also fighting battles. France kept fighting England, they kept fighting Spain, Spain fought England, and they were absolutely fighting the Portuguese. And then the Dutch were just kicking the crap out of everybody who dared sail near any of their territory. Yeah, so eventually, constantly putting down rebellions and revolts, along with fighting very powerful enemies that are right next door to you, will eventually bankrupt you. Just look at England versus Germany in World War II. And the US isn't declining like the Roman Empire because the United States isn't dependent on constantly conquering your neighbors in order.
Now we just proved that the Roman Empire. Matter of fact, let's find that article real quick. All right. Fall. We just look up the fall of Rome. Excuse me. Let's go to this history channel. 8 reasons why Rome fell. Invasions by barbarian tribes, economic troubles and overlords on slave labor. And that's what America has right now, not including the slave labor, but money troubles. They were in debt. The rise of the Eastern Empire, overexpansion and military overspending, government corruption and political instability. Same thing with America. The arrival of the Huns and the migration of the barbarian tribes. All these ads popping up. Weakening of the Roman legions. All right, and if I remember, I'll put this link in the description. You can go read it. All right, that's just one though. That's just a couple of them. And it was the Western Roman Empire, not the whole Roman. It says, let's read a little bit of this Wikipedia. It says the fall of the Western Roman Empire, also called the fall of the Roman Empire or the fall of Rome, was the loss of the central political control in the Western Roman Empire, a process in which the empire failed to enforce its rule, and its vast territory was divided between several successor polities. The Roman Empire lost the strengths that had allowed it to exercise effective control over its western provinces. Modern historians posit factors including the effectiveness and numbers of the army, the health and numbers of the Roman population, the strength of the economy, the competence of the emperors, the eternal struggles for power and the religious changes of the period, and the efficiency of the civil administration. Increasing pressure from invading barbarians outside Roman culture also contributed greatly to the collapse. Climatic changes in both endemic and epidemic disease drove many of these immediate factors. The reasons for the collapse are major subjects of the The reasons for the collapse are major subjects of the historiography of the ancient world, and they inform much modern discourse on state failure. All right, and a lot of things came into play. Like I said, now civil and foreign wars, invasions, military, financial, and political effectiveness. All these things are at play, and some of these are happening in America right now. Economical troubles, people invading, well, not, going to war, but people invading the southern border, and we'll read about that. Lord, we'll get to it. All these things happening. So, and this, and there's two things going on. Either he really doesn't see what's going on, or he's delusional. All right, he really thinks that America is not falling. But let's continue on this madness.
In order to keep your own little civilization going. Mind you, a lot of the neighbors that Rome colonialized had their own identities, a lot of patriotism and hatred for their conquerors, like Egypt, the former Babylonian Empire, the Persians at one point, the Anatolians, the Greeks. If you're curious how Persia fell to Muslim conquest, you should look up the annexation of the Lakhmid Kingdom. You see, the United States doesn't have to worry about having very violent neighbors because our two neighbors, Canada and Mexico, are some of our strongest military and economic allies. There is Cuba, but they can't really do much. But the greatest advantage that the US has is that they are an ocean away on either side from their enemies, which is why during World
And, just because you're allies, just because Canada and that is true, but the end of the allies are going to turn on America. Let's get Revelation 17. Let me see if I can get it. Find it in Slovakia. maybe 17:16. Okay. Revelation 17 and 16, it says, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. All right, and these 10 horns, man, you know, this is the revival of the Roman Empire. So the NATO and the EU, is that beast system. All right, and they're gonna turn on America. They're gonna shoot off their missiles at her, at America, and America's gonna be a lake of fire. So just because that America doesn't have anybody near her, that doesn't mean anything. Their allies gonna, still turn on the allies of America are gonna turn on her. Let's continue.
World War I and World War II, while the major powers and their economies were crumbling, the US was flourishing because they weren't touched by any of this conflict. But what about a nuclear attack? Russia's nuclear weapons are decades old, and they...
Wrong. They always Russia is always is Russia, China, North Korea, they're always doing, exercises. They got a see. I think it's called Satan 2. If I look at the range. Look at that. Maximum estimated missile range. India, South Korea, Taiwan, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. So they have see all these missiles they got. Russia, they're not, they're not weak. All right. Look at the U.S. missiles compared to the Russian. You know that? See that? Yeah, I think it was one that could reach America in 30 minutes. Something like that. But yeah, you could do this. You can look this up. I think it was like 30 minutes. See if we can get that. It says it's not designed to debate the decision. Long-range missiles attacking the United States from Russian territory could reach U.S. territory in around 30 minutes. So I don't know where he got that. Yeah, hypersonic missiles. They have hypersonic missiles that can reach and hit the U.S. in 30 minutes. And I'm pretty sure other countries as well, like China, North Korea, possibly Iran, other countries. All right, they have these capabilities to do that. So Russia ain't no weak nation. So I don't know where he got this from. So like I said, he's probably delusional, and he wants America to, he doesn't understand what's going on, or he knows what's going on, but he doesn't believe it.
They may actually be entirely useless. The most recent intelligence report shows that China's missiles are filled with water, not fuel. What about an EMP attack, you say? Well, everything you've heard and read about EMP threats are most likely fictitious.
Let's Google it, since that Google is free. Let's look up EMP attack on the United States. Russia and China have the ability to destroy the U.S. power grid and degrade military capabilities with a non-kinetic first strike. Now, not only the electromagnetic effects of nuclear and non-nuclear weapons, but also by means such as cyber attacks. All right, like come on, man, you can't really be this stupid. You know, you can't. Google is free, right? Let's read this real quick. Let's go on one of these articles. It says the threat of a nuclear electromagnetic pulse to critical infrastructure. This came out May 14, 2023. I'll read a little bit. It says many consider an EMP attack on the United States from an atmospheric nuclear warhead detonation to be a black swan event, a high impact, unpredictable event. But we have known about the threat of an EMP attack since early atmospheric testing in the early 1960s. Furthermore, it seems even more reasonable today that our adversaries may choose to cripple the U.S. in a fatal first punch rather than engage the U.S. in a war of attrition. EMP is a line of sight phenomenon associated with the detonation of nuclear warhead, and the pulse it emanates can bridge the integrated circuitry of electronic components, especially those connected to long-led conductors like antennas, transmission lines, or internal building wiring, or something as simple as an electrical cord on an appliance plugged into the wall. The bridging or electrical arcing across integrated circuitry can disrupt the usage of the electronic component, requiring it to be cycled or restarted, or the bridging can burn out the circuitry or chip, thus destroying the function of the electronic component. All right. The fact that EMP effects can cause extensive damage and destruction to critical infrastructure over large areas is well understood, and as a metric means an adversary can employ to cause nationwide damage. So, this is really crazy, man. All right, and I think it was like early 2023. They gave out what was it? Satellite phones. Let's see if I can look that up. It was um uh let's do this. Officials gave out satellite phones. It says emergency satellite phones issued to senators fuel conspiracy claims. All right, Senate issues at least 50 satellite phones are a security measure. You know, so last year they were giving satellite phones for something. You know, so if an EMP does happen, they have that satellite phone, to communicate. So let's continue this madness.
Google is free. Just look at the reality of an EMP attack on the United
And we just did, and it can happen. These people have the capability of doing this. All right, and when that time comes, this guy's gonna be totally in the dark.
States. What about a cyber attack that would crush U.S. military?
And let's get that. That's been another thing. I spelled it wrong. You know, this was one day ago. Wall Street firm hit by cyber attack that has knocked systems offline. Wall Street fintech Equiland offline after cyber attack. Financial term firm-tech Equilin Zalakia says recovery after cyber attack may take several days. As you cyber attack on the U.S. This came out last year. Let's look at this. It says exclusive U.S. government agencies hit in global cyber attack. This was June 15th, 2023. Several U.S. Federal government agencies have been hit in a global cyber attack by Russian cyber criminals that exploits a vulnerability in widely used software, according to a top U.S. cybersecurity agency. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is providing support to several federal agencies that have experienced intrusions affecting their MOVEit applications. Eric Goldstein, the agency's executive assistant director, for cybersecurity, said in a statement on Thursday to CNN, referring to the software impacted, "We are working urgently to understand impacts and ensure timely remediation." Aside from U.S. government agencies, several hundred companies and organizations in the U.S. could be affected by the hacking spree, a senior CISA official told reporters later Thursday, citing estimates from private experts. So this can happen, and you see in the movies, you know. I just recently watched what's it called? Leave the World Behind. They were hit by a cyber attack, you know, and they tell you what they do. What they're telling you what they do in these movies. All right, so these things aren't, you know, far fetched. This can actually happen. And Lord willing, this is the year. Lord willing, He puts the spirit on these people to bring some type of calamity, you know, because hey, we ready to go. Lord willing, we of the elect. All right, but we pray that Lord, this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Something happens, you know, stuff starts breaking out. You know, we pray and hope. All right, we pray hope something bad happens. You know, so cyber attacks aren't far fetched. These things can actually happen. And like I said, he's probably, you know, in the dark. So, let's continue with this madness.
And economic infrastructure. Well, the United States is the #1 producer of the best hackers.
And you can tell he's just proud. Just a proud whatever he is. He could be an Israelite. You know, I ain't gonna say, but by my observation, he's probably Edom, most likely.
In the world. The United States developed the internet under DARPA in the 1960s. You should look up what DARPA is. And if you don't think they calculated the probability that the internet could be used as a weapon against them, then you're lying to yourself. And if you're concerned...
No, this dude lying to himself. Bro, hey, people gonna learn, and when shit hits the fan, man, people are gonna learn. All right.
Any overwhelming military attack against the United States, I highly suggest just look at my 2 pin posts right here and this one. This one up here, this is satire.
Let's get a scripture real quick. I was just thinking of it. I lost it. But we can get this, Revelation 20. You know, going back to what he said about the United States not falling. All right. I'm going to read this, Revelation 20 and 1. It says, "Now I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years." And we know that's Esau, Edom. Then when they went up into them the mountains, you know, they became cavemen. All right, that's their true nature. And he cast them into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal upon him. They shall not deceive the nations no more, till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And that's when they came back during the Renaissance. You know, Renaissance means rebirth. All right, let's jump down to verse 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the sea. All right, so they were in prison for 1,000 years. All right, and the Lord, let them out for a little season, and it's that little season right here, but it's about to fall. All right, let's go to Isaiah. Let's get 34. Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The blood of the sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats. And those lambs and goats represent the lambs represent 2/3 of Israel, and the goats is Edom. And with the fat of the kidneys of rams, and that rams the other nations. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. All right, and that's Basra is the modern day U.S. All right, because it's this is the land of the Edomites, because they took it over. Right, but now the Lord is coming to destroy their kingdom. Oh yeah, let's get Daniel 2. All right. 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So America is going to fall, but the Lord Yahweh is going to send his son Yahweh Shah to destroy all these kingdoms, especially Edoms. All right, and they're gonna be put in chains at the end of it. All right. So Babylon is gonna fall. I think let's go to Jeremiah. It says Babylon just for sins against Israel. Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fanners, that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And what's that land? I mean, what's that destroying wind? Those missiles. All right, those ICBMs. This place is going about our nuclear destruction. This place is finished already. We're just waiting on the Lord. All right. Verse 3. Against him that bendeth let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigading, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. All right. Let's get that'll be it. That should be good. Let's continue with this madness.
Aside from several meteors crashing onto several of America's major cities, or an EMP pulse from the sun, the only way.
And they be telling you that in these articles, it could be a EMP pulse from the sun. The sun could send out solar rays and take out the electrical grid. Man, no, that's not gonna happen. Well, if it does happen, it's gonna be up to the Lord. But ultimately, the Lord's gonna put these people. The Lord's gonna put the spirit on these people to bring a electrical blackout, a cyber attack. That's what we believe. All right, not from no sun. Okay, and if it is of the sun, then hey, that's the Lord's plan. All right.
That the U.S. could collapse or be weakened tremendously would be through its monetary system. Germany tried to crush the British economy during World War II under Operation Bernhard, where they were going to send hundreds of millions of.
You know, all this is,
Not how sovereign debt works. President of the BRICS Bank.
going to, and he talks about the BRICS, going to that, and yeah, they're teaming up. These other nations are trying to are going to drop the dollar, but like the brother said, that these nations can't take down America alone. It's going to have to be taken down by divine intervention, because they've been blessed, and they have all types of weapons, and they have all these types of things, but they are losing on the left hand side, so the Lord's going to come take this place out. But yeah, I just want to go into this. Lord willing, this was edifying. Video. All right, Lord willing, you'll get something out of it. And I'm gonna end it with, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to you, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Double honors the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. All right, Lord willing, it's edifying to you, brothers and sisters. Until the next video, Shalom.